favor me ayudan cerrando las puertas si son tan amables? Por favor, les rogamos tomar asiento. Muy buenos días con todos. En nombre de mi representada, les doy la más cordial bienvenida. Uno de los top 100 héroes e íconos del siglo, de acuerdo a la revista Times, el pensador influyente número 17 en el mundo y número 1 en medicina, según el World Post y Huffington, autor de 24 bestsellers del New York Times, número 8 de las personas más influyentes en salud y estado físico, de acuerdo a greatest.com, profesor adjunto de programas ejecutivos de Kellogg School of Management y Columbia Business School, autor de más de 85 libros traducidos a más de 43 idiomas. Recibimos con un gran aplauso al doctor Deepak Chopra.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. It's wonderful to be with all of you. This morning we have to cover a lot of material, so I'm not going to waste any time, get started right away. I thank you for being here. Thank Maria for hosting me. And I hope by the end of this morning session, this morning and the later session, that you will have at least a few tools that you can use regularly to explore your potential for greatness and also help others manifest their greatness. So what I'd like to do right now is get started with a very short exercise. I want everyone to partner with a person, so turn to your partner right now, quickly. Okay, everyone needs a partner for this. So if you're all by yourself, then stand up and find a partner. And I hope the translations are all working fine. Yes? Okay, so please look at your partner, and you need a partner. If you're alone, please find one. Maybe stand up and you'll find somebody. Quickly. Okay, so look at your partner and make a quick decision. Which one of you has the shorter hair? Okay. Now the person with the short hair, please close your eyes and put your attention here in your heart. The person with the short hair, put your attention here, and the person with the long hair, you are to reach forward and whisper in your partner's ear every 15 seconds the following question. And the question is, who are you? Who are you? And the person with the short hair, please respond from your heart. Now, if you don't have a partner, which I hope you do, because this is best done with a partner, then you can close your eyes and ask yourself the same question, who am I? And allow any sensation, any image, any feeling, any thought to spontaneously come to you. Okay, so the question is, who are you? And the person answers loud enough for your partner to hear. But the partner can keep asking the question every 15 seconds. Let's go. Okay, now you can switch. So the person who is asking the question answers the question. Same process. Every 15 seconds, the question is, who are you? And please respond spontaneously from your heart, allowing any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to come to you. Who are you? Allowing any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to spontaneously come to you. Speak from your heart. Question is, who are you? Now, now we'll switch once more, but a different question. And the question is, what do you want? What do you want? Allow yourself to express yourself from your heart. Every 15 seconds, question is, what do you want? Please start. Switching. One last time. Switch again, one last time. Same question. What do you want? What do you want? And the person who's responding, speak spontaneously from your heart, allowing any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to come to you. And now everyone, please close your eyes. Everyone, please close your eyes. Put your awareness in your heart. And for the next 3 or 4 minutes, just reflect on 2 questions. Who am I? And what do I want? And allow any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to spontaneously come to you. Who am I? What do I want? Just sitting quietly, reflecting on those 2 questions, keeping your awareness in your heart. Who am I? What do I want? And now keep your eyes closed and ask yourself, who are the people in my life, both personal life and professional life? Who are the people in my life, personal and professional? What do they want? What do they want? And this time allow those people to come into your awareness, both in your personal life and professional life. And the same question, what do they want? Allowing any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to come to you. Okay, now we can all open our eyes. Please open your eyes and let's take 2 minutes each discussing with your partner any insight that you had about yourself or about them. Anything that comes to mind. Please talk to each other and take turns. So, person with the short hair can start. 2 minutes and then we'll switch. Okay? Any insight as a result of these two reflections? Who am I? What do I want? Who are the others and what do they want? So if you haven't switched, now you can switch. Let your partner speak. Okay, so the exercise is over now. We'll just finish by me asking you right now to randomly shout out one word for your experience, just one word. Anybody, and as we shout out, please write these words down. Okay, so one word. Felicidad. Anybody else? Peace. What else? Love. Consciousness. Free. Salud. Okay, health, well-being. Understanding. Inspiration. Commitment. Passion. Compassion. Compassion. What did he say? Solidarity. Ananda. Bliss. Okay, one or two more. Anybody else? Authenticity. Okay, so I think we have enough. Has anyone written them down? Have you written them down? Can you read them loudly for the audience?
Felicidad, paz, armonía, amor, conciencia, libre, autenticidad, salud, entendimiento, inspiración, compromiso, compasión, solidaridad, bienestar.
Thank you, sir. So these are all qualities of your soul, of your spirit. Okay, they are not the qualities of your mind. The qualities of the mind are analysis, rationality, the need to control, the need to be validated, which means the need for approval. So the mind is always evaluating its own status. And by mind, I also mean ego mind, because it's the ego mind, which is the separate mind. And when we go beyond the ego, in very simple way right now, through reflection, then what reveals itself is the soul or the spirit. Okay, so let me spend a little bit of time on this, just on this. Because those qualities that you listed, all of you, just now, without any help, those are the qualities of your soul. And actually, if you live those qualities, then you're a great leader. You don't need anything else. And if you want to now have a good weekend, thank you for coming this morning. And the course is over. You just have to live the qualities that you already have. You live the qualities that you have that are usually overshadowed by our mind, by our analytic mind. Also we call the rational mind, but also the ego mind, which always wants need for approval, need to control, needs validation from the outside. In fact, the ego mind is built from the outside. It's what we include in our bio. Anytime you apply for a job, you say, what are your qualifications? What are your references? Okay, nobody lists the qualities of their soul. They list which institution they went to for their education, what degree they have, how much money they make, what was their last job, what are their references, and who thinks what of them, whether it's previous employers or investors or customers, but basically other people. So our bio, what we write on our profile, usually is not who we are. It's about everything that is covering up who we are. Everything that is covering up who we are. And unfortunately, that's most of the leadership in the world. Today we have a crisis in world leadership everywhere, not just America. You look Latin America and most of the countries, and now on Wall Street, in the business world, things are not moving well because leadership is not understood at the level of the soul. Leadership is only understood at the level of the ego. Okay, if we could have even a small number of people who are leaders from the level of their soul, then that would drastically change the world of business. It would drastically change productivity, engagement. It would drastically change our economy as well. Because right now the economy is not based on authenticity, on providing really value to the world. And so from your soul you provide value because your soul is all the things that you mentioned. Okay, so let me now share with you the qualities of great leaders, extraordinary leaders, throughout history and up until now. The qualities based on very good research, the qualities of extraordinary leaders. Extraordinary leaders are those who not only, first of all, maximize their own potential, but they maximize the potential of others. Today, if you read leadership literature, and I believe everyone has a copy of my book, or some of you have, but if you read leadership literature, you will come across the following categories of leadership. Thought leadership. So the people who lead by extraordinary, creative, imaginative thinking. They are visionaries. So many schools, including Kellogg Business School and Columbia, they excel in thought leadership. Then there's another category of leadership which is called market leadership. How do you lead in the market with your business? And of course, there are extraordinary teachers about market leadership in the world. The third category of leadership that people talk about is what we call team leadership. People these days especially recognize that the best leaders are those who have the best teams. They can harness the strength of a team where everybody complements the strengths, where everybody has a shared vision, where everybody's emotionally connected, and then things are made possible because there's a cohesive team. And the best lessons for team leadership come from sports. If you look at sports coaches, you'll see that's what they excel at. The really good sports teams, of course they have talent. You know, if you are a soccer team, you need to know how to play good soccer, but the winning team is not necessarily the team with the best talent, because at that level, everybody is good. At the high level, everybody is good. It is the team that makes the difference. Is the team emotionally and spiritually connected? Does the team have a shared vision? Do they complement each other's strengths? If you have a soccer team, then you have somebody who's a goalie, somebody who's a quarterback, somebody who's in the front. They're all complementing each other's strengths. And that is a good team in a business as well. So we have thought leadership, we have market leadership, we have team leadership, and then of course there's political leadership, which is unfortunately all about power and influence and cronyism and bureaucracy and frequently corruption. Political leadership has become corrupted all over the world. So all these categories of leadership we can put aside today, because today we are going to talk about soul leadership. Because if you have soul leadership, the others will come to you spontaneously. And for this, I need to share with you the qualities of great leaders, extraordinary leaders, in this category. So number one quality of great extraordinary leaders is they took time every day to reflect. So either they would sit quietly and meditate, but with questions, okay? Questions. They took time to reflect. They also maybe did not sit down formally in the meditation. Maybe they went for a quiet walk in the park. But they had time every day, 15, 20 minutes before they started their day, to reflect on the most important questions of their life. And today I have shared two of them, but we'll go into the others. Okay, so what are those two? Who am I? And what do I want? If you don't know who you are and what you want, you will never know the world, because the world is also people who want something. Okay, so extraordinary leaders definitely ask those two questions. Who am I? What do I want? But also, who are they, the people that I lead, the people that I am responsible for, the people whose potential I want to unfold, and what do they want? So before this morning session closes, I will help you create what we call a soul profile. A profile of your soul. Not your bio, but your soul. And if you live up to your soul profile, even with a bit of reflection every day, then you will see that situations, circumstances, events, people, they will respond to you, because you're living from a deeper level, authentically. Okay? So that was the number one quality of leaders, reflection. Number two quality of leaders, which is also very well researched, is that they were very good storytellers. They knew how to tell a story, and the better the story, the more successful they were as leaders. Now, I should share with you some very interesting research on this through cultural anthropology. So if you look at deep history, look at those people who look at deep history, they say that up until about 20,000 years ago, there were about 8 different types of human species. 8 different types of human species. So we are a species that we call Homo sapiens. It's a name we gave to ourselves. It means the wise ones. So we gave this name to ourselves. But there were other human species still 20,000 years ago. Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalis, Homo floresiensis, about 8 different types of human beings. But all one family, just like when you look at a lion or a cheetah or a tiger or a jaguar or a panther or your cat, they are one family but different species, okay? A species only mates with its own kind. It does not mate outside. Rarely, like you may have a horse and if it mates with a donkey, then you get a mule, but then the next generation is sterile. In order for a species to propagate, it has to mate with its own species, even though it is part of a bigger family. So just as I mentioned, the cat, your house cat, the lion, the tiger, they are one family, but they are different species. Similarly, a wolf, a fox, a dog, these are the same family, but they're different species, okay? So there were 8 different types of human beings. And they had a very rudimentary language. The language was only about danger and about sex. In other words, survival. Very rudimentary language. There's danger, there's a lion coming, or there's food here, or there's opportunity to reproduce. So the language was just 1 or 2 words for danger, for mating, for food. But then one species, humans, Homo sapiens, we created a language in the beginning that was only about gossip. So that's the beginning of storytelling. Human beings, Homo sapiens, started telling stories. They started gossiping. So-and-so sleeping with so-and-so, so-and-so can be trusted, so-and-so's honest. And once that started, the human species, Homo sapiens, became the dominant human species. Until then, human beings also moved in packs, just like when you look at, say, wolves, they move in a pack. Okay, all animals move in a pack in the natural world. And they have a leader, every pack, monkeys, elephants, wolves, tigers, they all move in packs and they have a leader. But the leader in humans could never exceed 100 followers. No human leader had more than 100 followers, till the Homo sapiens developed the language for story. And then the leader who told the best story had the biggest followers. In fact, not only 100, thousands. Not only thousands, hundreds of thousands. And in many cases, millions. So this led to kingdoms, this led to monarchies, this led to empires, this led to colonialism. This basically ultimately created everything that we call civilization. Civilization came from storytelling. We are the storytellers. So without a story, you are not a good leader. Now, of course, there are many leaders who tell dishonest stories, and they're successful too. But at some point, their leadership falters. Okay, so first trait of great leaders, reflection. Second trait of great leaders, they told effective stories, but more importantly, they lived their stories. Okay, now everybody goes to a movie, everybody goes to watches programs on television, everybody once in a while reads a great book. What are the elements of a great story? What are the really good elements of a great story? So here are the elements of a great story. A story has to have tension. A story has to have tension. Without tension, there's no story. You go to a movie that has no tension, you'll walk out of it. Okay? It's boring. So a story has to have tension. There has to be things that are challenges. If there are no challenges, there is no story, number one. Number two, a story has to be emotional. Because if the story is not emotional, again, it's boring. Number three, a story has to be, any story has to be a love story. Without it being love in the story, again, it's not a story. So it has to be a love story. There has to be an element of romance in the story. Whether that is personal love, or love for a great idea, or love for a great business, or love for a community, love for a service, love for a product. But if there is not authentic love as part of the story, then the story is not effective. A story also has to have a vision. Where are we now? Where do we want to be? And that vision has to be a felt vision. Felt means at the level of feeling. The vision has to be a felt vision, and then there should also be an outcome. When we get to the top of the mountain, how will we feel? Because what are you looking for in any story is a feeling. Whatever the outcome is, you want to make $10 million next year, why? Because there's a feeling that will be aroused. What is that feeling you're looking for? Okay? And when that outcome is achieved, how will life be different for all the people involved in the story? How will life be different for all the people involved in the story? So those are the elements of a good story. In a business, you're looking for 4 constituencies as part of the ecosystem of the business. So in a business, employees, customers, investors. That's the ecosystem of a business. But then there's an ecosystem of your personal life, which is your family, your spouse, your children, your parents, and those who you really care about. And then there is an extended social network of the family as well, which we call society. So if you look at the ecosystem of this story, your story, it has to involve all those things. As a business, it has to look at how is the life of the investors, the customers, the employers, the employees, how is it going to change? Okay. And how is the life of my family going to change? My friends going to change? If you don't have that in context, then the context does not allow you to make the best choices. What is that? I think I'm picking this up. So unless you know the context, what is the ecosystem of the story?
¿Podemos apagar? ¿Cuál es el ecosistema? Necesitamos un ecosistema para la historia. Los que cuentan historias. Una gran característica de los líderes extraordinarios.
The microphone off there. Number 3.
Número 3. Estamos con problemas.
Authenticity. Authenticity means be transparent and do not pretend to be what you are not, if you want to come from the soul.
Somos.
Number 4.
Perdón, ¿podemos parar hasta que arreglemos el sonido? Porque si no, la traducción no va a salir.
Integrity. Integrity means
Integridad.
you fulfill your promise. If you can't fulfill your promise, say so.
Su promesa. Si no pueden cumplir
But
su
don't
promesa, díganlo.
compromise on your word.
Pero no quiebren su palabra.
Integrity, authenticity.
La integridad, la autenticidad.
The next item here
El siguiente punto
is taking a stand
es tomar
that I am the cause
una
of everything
posición
that
que yo
happens
soy
in
la
my
causa
ecosystem.
de todo lo que
So
sucede
this
en
is
mi
a phrase
ecosistema.
used in leadership
Esta
literature.
es una frase
It's
que
called
se utiliza.
cause in the matter. I am the cause of everything that happens in my ecosystem of leadership. Now what I said is taking that stand. It doesn't mean that it's 100% true, because many things influence what happens, right? But taking the stand, I am the cause in the matter. Because if you take that stand, then you can do something. If you don't take that stand, then it's always somebody else that has to change, right? So whether it's true or not, you are the cause in the matter. Cause in the matter. I am the cause in the matter. The next quality of great leaders, and we're talking about extraordinary leaders, is committing to something bigger than yourself. Committing to something that is something bigger than yourself, because you'll see that when you commit that, then everybody is there to help you. Today, before we end, I will talk to you a little bit about the new understanding of what in leadership literature is called flow. How you have the experience where there is no effort, there is lack of ego, there is spontaneous creativity, there is no resistance, everything flows in a way that's spontaneous and synchronistic. And that happens when you commit to something bigger than yourself. Okay, let's complete the list of extraordinary leadership. Frequently, extraordinary leaders will use the word, good luck, I was lucky. Or, if they are religious, they may use the word, God was on my side. If they're spiritual, sometimes they'll say, I happened to be in the right place at the right time. Or they may say there was a lot of synchronicity. Or they may use a word, spiritual word, called the state of grace. The state of grace, which means everything falls into place as if you are being looked after. There's a divine intelligence behind you. Now, whether you're religious or spiritual is not the question right now. This is a fact that great leaders feel somehow divinely supported. I have used the word synchrodestino, where everything synchronistically falls into place. So that's a fact, that leaders who achieve extraordinary things, they don't usually internally even take credit for it because they felt a sense of divine intelligence behind everything that they achieved. What else? Extraordinary leaders have true self-esteem, which is they are not dependent on others for validation. And as a result, they are immune to criticism and to flattery at the same time. Because it's the ego that is always afraid of criticism, and the ego that needs flattery, but your soul is independent of both criticism and flattery. As a result, extraordinary leaders feel beneath no one, and they are fearless. This is what we call true self-esteem. Immune to criticism and flattery, beneath no one, and fearless. But at the same time, they are extremely friendly and polite. Even though they feel beneath no one, they're extremely polite, they're friendly, and they are never solicitous. Solicitous means they do not solicit favors, because their internal reference point is their soul. So that's called true self-esteem. Now, many people say, and this is a very hot topic in leadership literature, do leaders need to be charismatic? Does a leader need to have charisma? So first of all, what is charisma? Anyone? What is charisma? What does the word mean to you? No. Charisma is a magical quality which attracts people. In a leader, we say this is a charismatic leader because he or she attracts people. People want to be in the company of this person. They want to feel their energy. They want to produce results for this person. Why? Because they feel like. They are not looking for a reward other than being in the energy of the leader. So charisma is that which attracts. And if you understand charisma, there are only 3 ingredients to charisma. Anybody can be charismatic. Number 1, you are fully present, which means you're not distracted. To be fully present means that the most important people in your life are the ones in front of you right this moment. To be fully present means you are fully present also in your body. To be fully present means you are aware of what is happening now, and you're aware of the choices you're making now. In other words, the most important time in your life is now. The fact is, now is the only time we have. If I ask you to step into the future, you can't. If I ask you to experience the past right now, you can't, except as a thought. And yet, most people are not present. So this is the magical quality of a charismatic leader, fully present. They have what we call presence. The second quality of leaders who are charismatic is that they are friendly. Okay, they're naturally friendly. Or they can learn to be friendly. You know, recently at a hospital in Boston, at Harvard Medical School, they introduced in one hospital a simple rule. And the rule was, if you're within 10 feet of another person, you smile. If you're within 5 feet of another person, you smile and you say hello or hi. And if you're within 2 feet of a person, you smile, you say hi, and you maybe tap them on the shoulder or shake their hand, or basically just a little touch, hug. That's it. They found that just with these interventions, the complaints in the hospital went down 90%. The customers were happier. The doctors felt more appreciated. And everything changed just with these 3 interventions. So if nothing else, be friendly. Okay, you're in the elevator, everybody's within 2 feet, smile and say hi. And see what happens. You change everybody's mood if you do that. And so constantly be present, be friendly, and do not look for validation. That's charisma. Okay, so those are the characteristics of extraordinary leaders. And now what I'd like to do is I would like to help you create your own soul profile. But before I do that, let's also, because you know this is called the soul of leadership, so I hope everybody here agrees that they have a soul. Anybody here who doesn't think they have a soul? Good. You're in the right conference. Okay, so now let's define soul, spirit, mind, all these things, okay? It's very important for us to understand what a soul is. So at this moment, I'm going to use the word consciousness, awareness to mean soul. Consciousness, awareness. How do we define consciousness or awareness? So there are many, many definitions. So consciousness, awareness. But here is one of the best ones, that comes from the great teachers of non-duality, or teachers who have a deep understanding of consciousness. So consciousness is the knowing element in every experience. Consciousness or awareness is the knowing element in every experience. So consciousness is that in which experience occurs. Where is this experience occurring right now? In consciousness, right? So consciousness is that in which all experience occurs. Consciousness is that out of which all experience is made and known. There can be no experience without consciousness. There can be no experience without consciousness. So when people are asked, where is consciousness? This is actually one of the hard problems of science today. Many people say, consciousness is here somewhere. But if you go inside the brain, you can't find something called consciousness. If I ask you, where are you experiencing this room? Where are you experiencing that? Where are you experiencing that screen, sir? Where is that experience happening? He points here. So this is everybody's, I would say everybody's premise, that what I call me is here. If I say, where are you? I'm here. Where is Deepak? He's on the stage. Where is that screen? It's out there. But actually, all this is happening in consciousness. Your body is not the source of consciousness. Your body is also an experience in consciousness. Look at your body right now. You're experiencing your body in the same way as you're experiencing the screen or me. So consciousness has no form. And having no form, it has no location. You say, where is this experience happening? It's happening here. It's happening in the presence of consciousness. Your body is not the container of consciousness. Your body is an experience in consciousness. Is everybody clear about this? So also, your mind is not consciousness. Your mind is an experience in consciousness. And these flowers and this stage and this microphone, these are all experiences in consciousness. Or you may say spirit or awareness or soul. We'll come to all of that in a moment. And you say, where is this? And the answer is, it has no location in space-time. It is timeless. That's why in all the religious traditions they say your soul is immortal. Immortal doesn't mean stretching endlessly in time. Immortal means not in time. Always present. It's always present in every experience, even sleep, even deep sleep, even dreams. Awareness is always present. Let me show you a little trick. Just now, I'm going to ask you a question. And the answer to the question is yes. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Just say yes together, okay? Are you aware? A little more enthusiastically. Are you aware? Okay, now I'm going to ask you the same question, but don't answer it until I raise my hand. Okay? Agreed? Are you aware? Okay. Are you aware is a thought. The answer yes is also a thought. But between those two thoughts is awareness, is you. I'm going to ask you the same question now. Don't answer it at all. Just be aware. Be aware of being aware. Are you aware? This is who you are. Its presence. It does not exist in time. And if you are not in touch with your soul, then you'll always be in the world of the separate mind, the fragmented mind. That can never lead to greatness. Okay? So, let's do it right now. I'm going to ask you, just be aware. Be aware of that which is listening to me right now. As you're listening to me, be aware of that which is listening. This is the highest intelligence. This is the highest intelligence a human being can have. Because consciousness is not a thought, it's the source of thought. Consciousness is not a perception, it is the source of perception. Consciousness is not a feeling, it's the source of a feeling. Consciousness is not an image, it is the source of an image. So, consciousness is the source of all experience. And all experience can be summarized in 4 words. Sensations, which means sense impressions, sound, touch, sight, taste, smell. Sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. Period. There is no other experience. Okay? So close your eyes. Think of a sunset on the mountains. Do you see an image? Where is that image? It's in your consciousness. How did you create it? Just by an intention. Now just be aware of any sound in this room. Any sound. So that's a sense perception. Or that's a sense perception. Sensations, images, feelings, emotions, and then interpretation, thought, and then story. So, I don't have too much time today, but if you really understood this, then your body, your mind, and the world is a story. And the story is created by you in consciousness, in your spirit, in your soul, which is not a thought, which is not a perception, which is not a sensation, which is not an image, but without it, there would be no experience. Okay? So does it have any qualities? Well, we said it's the source of all experience. What other qualities does it have? Here are the most important qualities that you can write down right now, which are universal qualities of our soul. Universal qualities of our soul. Number one, consciousness is a field of infinite possibilities. Infinite means infinite. Whatever it can imagine, it can accomplish. Number two, consciousness is a field of synchronicity. Synchronicity means everything is synchronized in time. When we experience coincidence, that is synchronicity, coincidence, many incidents happening in response to an intention. So number one, consciousness is a field of infinite possibilities. Number two, consciousness is a field of synchronicity. Number three, consciousness is the source of intention and attention. So when I asked you to think of a sunset on the mountains, you had attention, then you had intention, and you had the experience. Okay, so everything that we experience is a result of attention and intention. Whatever you put your attention on, it gets energy, and whatever you put your intention on, it transforms. That's number three. Number four, consciousness is in the realm of unpredictability. It is not attached to certainty. So consciousness is a realm of unpredictability, uncertainty, paradox, contradiction. If I were to ask you, can you predict your next thought? The answer is no. Can you predict what's going to happen 5 minutes from now? He says, statistically, we'll still be here, but with certainty, you cannot predict anything. And that is very important because consciousness, number 5, is the source of creativity. And you cannot have creativity in the absence of unpredictability or uncertainty. I'll repeat that. It's impossible to have creativity in the absence of unpredictability or uncertainty. If a system is certain, like a computer, it's an algorithm, it's not creative. It can simulate your creativity, but to have true creativity, you have to be comfortable with paradox, contradiction, uncertainty, unpredictability. So now I'll summarize the 5 qualities of the soul that we all have, universal. Infinite possibilities, synchronicity, source of attention and intention, unpredictability, and creativity. If you have access to those 5, then you're coming from the level of your soul. Okay? So now what we'll do is, in the remaining time you have this morning, remember, if your soul is the field of all possibilities, that means it has the creative solution to every problem. It has the intention to fulfill any desire, to manifest any vision, because it is the ground of existence. It's the ground of your being. Okay? So now let me show you a few slides. This is one of my favorites from Carl Jung, who said, "He who looks outside dreams, he who looks within awakens." Because by looking within, we get in touch with our soul. And one of the best ways to get in touch with our soul is to ask questions. It is important to ask questions. It is not important to know the answers. Your soul has the answers and will give you the answers when you need the answers. I'll repeat that. It is important to ask the questions. It is important to not pursue the answers. Your soul will provide the answers when you need them. You live the questions, and your soul will move you into the answers. Live the questions. So now we have said, consciousness creates everything that we call reality. Our moods and emotions, our cognition, how do we know what we know, our perception of the world, our perception or experience of our body and mind, our behavior, our personal relationships, our social interactions, and our interaction with the forces of nature are all a product of consciousness. So consciousness is what creates reality. It creates the experience of mind, body, universe. And so by getting in touch with that, we get in touch with everything. And this is the great wisdom of great seers who said, know that one thing, by knowing which everything else is known. Know that one thing, by knowing which everything else is known, and that one thing is, who am I? Okay, that's a story, but I'm not going to share it with you today. These are the 7 basic principles of the soul of leadership. Look and listen. Look and listen by asking questions. Look and listen with your body. Look and listen with your heart, emotions. Look and listen with your mind, mentally. But most important, look and listen with your soul. And how do you look and listen with your soul? Just by being. Just by being present. You can slip into it anytime. Ask yourself, am I aware? And there you are. Towards the end of today's seminar, I'll do a short meditation that will help you. Second characteristic of great leadership, emotional bonding, emotional connections. Now, let me tell you that when businesses fail, when political parties fail, when countries fail, always it's because of lack of emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? It's to be in touch with your own emotions. It's to be in touch with the emotions of others, which we call empathy. It's also to communicate in a way that increases emotional bonds. And the 4 things you do to enhance emotional bonding, they all begin with A. So first is attention. Attention means listening. The second is appreciation, noticing the strengths of others. The third is affection, showing love and compassion. And the 4th is acceptance, which means not trying to change another person, but to bring out their greatness. The third button over there is awareness. Okay? So in this awareness, we have to be aware of what do people want. So we started with that question today. Who am I? What do I want? The who am I is the soul. And what do we want? The soul wants to fulfill its desires. Because without fulfilling desire, there's no manifestation. It remains just spirit, presence, awareness. But for awareness to manifest, it has to manifest through desire. So for this, we go back to the 7 levels of human desire, or you can even say human need. The first level is survival and safety. The second is love and belonging. The third is achievement and success. The fourth is self-esteem. The fifth is creative expression. The sixth is higher consciousness. And the seventh is transcendence. All human needs are within these 7 things. Now, in Eastern wisdom traditions, they call them the 7 chakras. You don't have to use those words. Abraham Maslow, the transpersonal psychologist, called them the hierarchy of needs. But as a leader, you need to know who are they, what do they want? Because everyone is a soul and everyone wants something in their life. And it has to fall in these 7 categories. Survival and safety, love and belongingness, success and achievement, self-esteem, creative expression, higher consciousness, transcendence. To keep that in mind makes you a conscious leader, an aware leader. D stands for to daring to dream a new reality and manifesting it, action. E, empowering others by bringing out their greatness. R, I mentioned, responsibility, being cause in the matter. And S, synchronicity. This is really the soul of leadership. Okay, now this is what is called a mind map, where we go into details of each of these qualities. But let me actually skip this just to summarize some of the things we've already said. So your soul is a field of infinite possibilities. It proliferates with uncertainty. The more uncertainty, the more the creativity. So it's comfortable with uncertainty. Your mind, of course, wants certainty, but not your soul. The soul is infinite correlation or synchronicity, infinite creativity, the source of all intention. It's the potential that unfolds and influences experience through memory, meaning, relationship, context, the archetypal themes of our culture and desire. Okay, so now we'll create the soul profile before we finish the morning session. And this is very important. So take a fresh piece of paper, okay, and start with these questions. Okay, these are the questions that you must live every day in order to manifest the potential of your soul. So start with a fresh piece of paper, and at the top write down, what do I want? And I'll give you just a few seconds to write down 2 or 3 words, okay? So please write down the answer to the question, what do I want, in one piece of paper. You don't need to write a story, you just need to write 2 or 3 words that encapsulate what you want from your life, okay? Take another piece of paper now. Take another piece of paper and write down what are the most important relationships in my life? And do not divide them into personal, social, professional. Who are the most important people in my life? Because without those people, you are not who you are. We are shaped by our relationships. So write down who are the most important people in your life on a fresh piece of paper. What do you get from them and what do you give to them? What do you derive from these relationships and what do you give to these relationships? Again, just take like 1 or 2 minutes. The third, peak experiences. Everybody has had sometime or another a peak experience. And I will talk about that in the second session. That's what we call the experience of flow, the experience of deep joy, the experience of being in love is a peak experience. The experience of a sacred spirit is a peak experience. Having a newborn child is a peak experience. Music, poetry, art, nature, Galapagos. So write down few experiences that you've had where you felt, the simplest word is ecstasy, ecstasis. Okay, time did not exist. As I said, during the latter part of our conference, we will end with what makes these peak experiences all the time. How can we be in flow all the time? Write down in 2 or 3 words your life purpose. What is my life purpose? Now, of course, I'll lead you through a meditation later. Then write down in 2 or 3 words your contribution to your business, to your family, and to society. Write down in 2 or 3 words what is unique about you, your unique skills, your unique talents. When you express your unique talents, your unique skills, you enjoy yourself. You lose track of time. Write down the names of 2, 3, or 4 heroes or mentors that you have in your life. Maybe from your family or maybe from religion or history or mythology. When you think of those people, you are inspired. Okay, so this is now your soul profile. Your soul is unique, but it's also universal. Universal, that field of all possibilities, synchronicity, intention, attention, creativity, unpredictability, but unique because there are certain things that are unique to you as a result of how you have been shaped by experience. And in the East, we call that karma. Karma is past experiences and how they shape the meanings and context. So now, I'm going to take 5 more minutes before we take the break. So now, again, take a fresh piece of paper and write down, just complete the following sentences. So the first sentence is, I want to live in a world which, and then complete the sentence. Then complete the second sentence. I would be inspired to work in an organization that. Complete the sentence. Third question, I would be proud to lead a team that. And fourth, a transformed world would be. Complete the sentence. Remember, there's not too much thinking. These are very spontaneous expressions of your soul. You just have to ask the question. I want to live in a world. I would be inspired to work in an organization. I would be proud to lead a team. A transformed world would be, whatever your vision is. And then we are completing the soul profile. How does my work in the world reflect my vision? You've already now expressed your vision, right? Your vision is all the things we spoke about. Who am I? What do I want? Relationships, all the 7 levels. But how do what I do every day fit with that vision? What do I need from my team or organization to get closer to my vision and my ideals? And what can I offer my team? So what do I need from my team? And what do I offer my team? How does my work in the world reflect my vision? What do I need from my team or organization to get closer to my vision or ideals? What can I offer to my team or organization to get closer to my vision and my ideals? So this ultimately translates into your mission for your life. You know, what can you commit to that is bigger than yourself? So if you ask me, what am I committed to? I'm committed to healing, health, well-being, which includes everything: peace, social justice, economic justice, sustainability, conflict resolution, health and well-being. So this is basically the mission statement of our foundation. I'm going to stop here right now. I think what we've done is looked at the qualities of great leadership, looked at reflection as the most important point, looked at charisma, looked at authenticity, integrity, cause in the matter, looked at being committed to a higher vision. And all I can say to you is, if you do a little bit of reflection on this, not worrying about the answers, your soul will synchronistically lead you into the right situations, the right circumstances, the right relationships, and the right ecosystem to fulfill the mission of your soul. And later this afternoon, or when we start the program again at 11:30, towards the end, I want to do a meditation practice with you, because if you do that, then everything else is pretty automatic, okay? So let's stop here. It's about 10:35, 10:36. We'll begin again in 25 minutes, okay? So get a cup of coffee or something, and we'll start again in 25 minutes. Thank you.